Yo, what is up, guys? We have got some fights announced. Islam Makhachev, Ian Machado, Garry, Ian, chair in the corner, Garry. Let's fucking go. Finally, something to look at. We got Dern and Robinson. Bro, you might get 30 seconds of screen time. I'm not going to lie. We are not hyped about that. But this is progress. We haven't gotten any fights drop as of recent. But, we kind of knew it was coming. Morales does not need, bro. Santa Cruz, we love your products, bro, but we love all the motivation, all the health and stuff, but he did not deserve that, bro. He does not. Ian Machado Garry deserves this title shot. 6 ranked wins. 2 of his last wins are so great. Bilal Muhammad was a great win, pretty much dominated all the way through. This fight will be interesting. I do think, seeing all these upsets as of recently, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I still am confident in Islam's chances, but Ian Garry will have a lot of success, and I'm going to break that down. I think that, the distance management of Ian Machado Garry will be enough to make it competitive. I think he's going to be able to make this competitive. We saw when he fought Bilal, he stood a little bit more, flat-footed, and that allowed him to manage the distance, but not be overreactive and things. And he's very well-rounded, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like he has his freaking wife's ex-husband last name, but bro is still, he's nice, bro. I'm not gonna lie. We got to stop disrespecting Ian Garry, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I know that's kind of crazy to say, bro. He's sitting in the chair right now, but like, you know what I'm saying? He's ready, bro. He went 2-3 years Brazil, bro. 2-3 years Dagestan it's gonna be hard for Islam Makhachev. The one thing I will say is if Islam gets his hands on Ian Machado Garry, like I just feel, he's gonna be much stronger, bro. That vegan diet is not it, bro. That vegan diet is not it. So that's the one thing I see. Like, the grappling is obviously in favor of Islam, and I think, if he gets tied up, he gets wrapped up, it's gonna be really hard. But I think out of everybody, this is the guy that's gonna give Islam a lot of problems just getting in and getting on, entries and everything. If he does get to a clinch, the judo throws will be there for sure. Just Ian's very tall, and I just don't think he has that in his arsenal. Nobody has the judo of Islam Makhachev. That's the one saving grace with his wrestling, especially like, we could see some people defending a few takedowns here and there, but really if he can't get it, the trips will be the saving grace. So, Ian Garry's leg kicks will be very good. I think the oblique kicks will keep, Islam at bay. But, it'll be very interesting being that Ian Garry is just so well-rounded. Like, honestly, you cannot hate on his skills, bro. He's one of the best in the division, if not, second or third best. So you got to put respect on his name, bro. He beat Carlos Prates. Like, I think in a rematch, Prates would, be able to find a shot and maybe make it a little closer. I don't know if a knockout would happen. Just in Machado Garry is like the decision machine, but if he does win, that shit is not gonna be a finish, bro. He has never finished anybody in his life. But this will be, bro. I'm actually hyped for this just because, bro. We saw Justin Gaethje and Ilya Taporia, bro. I'm gonna make a video on fights next for that, but that shit was crazy. Anything can happen in the sports. I think Islam's only a minus 290. Like, I feel like all the Vegas is not putting up any of these odds crazy enough because they don't want to lose money, bro. They know that this shit is closer than they thought. And yeah, bro, I just think Ian Garry will be able to, manage range. I think he'll, win the stand-up easily. I think, he's going to win the stand-up unless the boxing, unless Islam could mix in the wrestling threat and get some boxing done on the inside. I think, some of Islam's counter mechanics are better than Ian Machado Garry's, but I think that Ian Garry will be able to, have a lot of success with the leg kicks and, 1-2s up the middle and things like that. Find some combinations even. I think Islam backs up a lot. Ian Garry, he does back up a lot as well. I don't think this is going to be a barn burner or nothing. It's not going to be too crazy of like, a brawl, but I think they're going to get into some moments where Islam knows that he has to fire back, and, he'll get the takedown here and there. I think, we're going to see a late fight in this one. I don't know. I think the one thing is that, we saw JDM versus Islam Makhachev, and JDM's jiu-jitsu was very impressive. He was able to fend off the submission threats easily, and, I think Ian Garry will have more difficulty than JDM did, but I think that Ian Garry will be able to defend the takedowns a little better than JDM did. I just don't see him getting, taken down at a 90% clip or whatever JDM got. I don't even think JDM defended a single takedown. It was bad. I think Ian Garry will be able to do it better just because that lead hand is present, and he's going to be able to manage the distance. So, that's the good part. But yeah, bro, I'm going to say early prediction. I'm going to say maybe if there's a finish, Islam Makhachev, round 4 or 5 submission. And I think the more that it goes to decision, I think Ian Garry can definitely steal some rounds. I still think that Islam can win by decision. It's more likely, but you never know in this sport. We'll see what happens with Conor and Max Holloway. I'm so excited for that as well. But, bro, these upsets can continue to happen, bro. We don't know. When these champs move up, bro, it's definitely tougher than they anticipated. So we'll see. I'm going to pick Islam Makhachev by just the wrestling threat, bro. I think, he's much stronger than Ian Garry, bro. That's the only thing. And yeah, man, that's my prediction for it, bro. I don't got much to say. We'll talk about it more as the fight comes closer, but it's definitely gonna be super interesting, tough matchup. Good matchmaking. Honestly, I don't like to. The UFC is shitty with their matchmaking, and a lot of the time they're not impressive. But this was pretty simple to do. I think Morales would have been in more entertaining build-up, and maybe even fight because he would have just been super big against Islam. But I just think this is the better skilled matchup. Ian deserves it. 6 ranked opponents in a row. Pretty active, always filling in on short notice. You got to give it to the guy. He deserves it, honestly, bro. It doesn't matter. And Durnan Robinson, bro, you're cooked, bro. Where is Zhang Weili? Bring her back. We need our champ back, bro. I like Mackenzie Dern, but dude, what are we doing, bro? We got her going against the Joker or some shit, bro. We are bathroom break, bro. Just bathroom break. I'll watch the WMA face, but bro, bathroom break. But that was the video, guys. I just want to give a quick prediction and update on this. So I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.